Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely pumped you're here with us. Today, we're doing something really cool. We're going to completely deconstruct the massive, unstoppable cultural hype engine that is the 2026 World Cup. But look, we're not talking about stadium blueprints or, ticketing logistics or team rosters. Nope. Instead, we're diving headfirst into the raw, unfiltered energy of the anticipation itself. And how are we doing that? Well, we're actually analyzing the official FIFA performance by massive internet personality iShowSpeed. Now, you might be wondering, why does this matter? Because 2026 is definitely not just another tournament. For the very first time, the World Cup is being hosted across 3 nations, the US, Canada, and Mexico. It's this unprecedented, sprawling North American spectacle, and it's colliding perfectly with the absolute peak of the creator economy. So understanding how hype is engineered in our modern landscape, that's literally the key to understanding how this event transcends sports and becomes a truly unavoidable, internet-driven global phenomenon. Let's get right into it. Put your flags up in the air, put your hands up in the air, put your flags up, because this is the World Cup. Just wow. Just feeling the rhythm of those repetitive lines instantly plunges you right into that chanting, undeniable energy of the performance, right? You can practically feel the concrete stadium vibrating beneath your feet. It's honestly astonishing how creators like iShowSpeed engineer these viral moments out of just pure, chaotic energy. Because these lines, they aren't just lyrics, they're a massive auditory hook. It's like a linguistic drumbeat designed to immediately grab your attention and just hold it hostage. Think about why this works so well in a massive, chaotic stadium environment, or honestly, in our highly fractured internet landscape today. It completely cuts through all the noise. It commands your participation right out of the gate. You don't actually have to know the complex offside rules of soccer to understand put your hands up. Okay, so moving right along to section 1, the anatomy of hype. Let's really dive into how these lyrics act as so much more than just a catchy song. They're basically a cultural artifact, meticulously designed to build massive scale. Take a look at this one short, punchy lyric. We live for this moment. I mean, it's only 5 words, but the psychological impact there is staggering. Hype of this magnitude is never an accident, guys. It is carefully structured to trigger a massive collective emotional response. This single phrase takes the event and elevates it from just a mere sporting competition to a monumental cultural necessity. It frames the World Cup not just as some tournament you casually watch on a Sunday afternoon, but as the absolute pinnacle of human experience. It's like the exact point in time that justifies everything else you've done leading up to it. And for the 2026 World Cup, with its massive continent-spanning footprint, manufacturing this shared sense of destiny and urgency, it's absolutely crucial for uniting viewers across completely different time zones and borders. Which brings us right to section 2, symbols of global unity. Let's see how that manufactured urgency we just talked about builds into our next core theme, which is this incredible global call to action. Because think about it, for an event to be truly massive, it really has to pull everyone into the exact same orbit. Notice the specific commands being used here to forcefully unite a global audience. We see flags up in the air and hands up in the air. These are universal, deeply physical gestures, right? Gestures of celebration and kind of surrender to the collective moment. Then we have the conceptual anchors, one worldite, and this is the world. This repetition isn't just a lack of vocabulary on the creator's part, no way. It's a deliberate, rhythmic hammering of a single unifying theme. The whole goal is to get a highly fractured global audience moving, breathing, and thinking as one single organism. Now I really want to unpack this highly unique phrase for a second, one worldite. This lyrical expression is just brilliant because it suggests this absolute global unity under a single massive event. It effectively coins an entirely new term to describe a new temporary state of being. Think about how profound that is in the context of global sports. Usually sports are defined by intense and sometimes pretty bitter nationalistic pride. But during this tournament, you aren't just an American, a Canadian, a Mexican, or a citizen of wherever you're from. You transcend that. You become a worldite. And for the 2026 World Cup, which, remember, is uniquely shared across 3 massive host nations, this concept of a borderless, unified citizen is incredibly poignant. It perfectly positions the World Cup as the ultimate one-world event where all dividing lines, geographic or otherwise, are just temporarily erased. Moving on to section 3, the competitor's mindset. So the really crucial point here is how the performance abruptly shifts our focus away from that massive macro global scale directly into the intimate micro moments on the pitch. We've literally just been talking about billions of people, flags in the air, a borderless planet.
But suddenly, the lens zooms all the way into a single solitary individual. Just imagine this progression with me. Step with my left, step with my right, pump my chest, focus my mind, take a breath, wait for the ref. I really want you to walk through the sensory isolation of that tunnel right now. It's this stark, highly rhythmic countdown. It completely strips away the noise of billions of fans and places you right into the heart-pounding isolation, that hyper-focused physical reality of an athlete just seconds before the whistle blows. It's an incredibly intimate look at the sheer psychological weight placed on these competitors. And we have this absolutely perfect contrast here between the broad, sweeping themes of a unified fan party and the incredibly tense isolation of the competitor. On one side, you've got the fan experience, right? Everybody come and chill, put your flags up. It's celebratory, it's relaxed, it's just this massive, joyous global festival. But juxtaposed directly against that is the player experience. Let's fight, wait for the ref. It's tense, it's solitary, it's a battle. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate paradox of the World Cup, and honestly, why global sports are so relentlessly compelling in the first place. This entire month-long joyful, unified global party is fueled completely by intense, high-stakes, nerve-wracking combat on the field. Without the brutal micro-isolation of the players' fight, the macro-celebration of the fans simply wouldn't exist.
All right, Section 4, the anticipation for 2026. Now let's connect this intense dichotomy of energy directly to the impending arrival of the 2026 tournament. All of this thematic buildup points our collective anticipation straight toward the future. 2026, baby, it's that World Cup time. Stand up, let's go. This direct lyric commands a specific, fearless excitement tailored entirely for this exact moment in sports history. It doesn't politely ask for your attention. It absolutely demands it. Stand up, let's go. It acts as a definitive starting gun for the entire hype cycle. And remember why 2026 matters so much. The tournament is expanding to an unprecedented 48 teams. The format is bigger, the stakes are so much higher, and soccer is having an undeniable cultural explosion in North America right now. This lyric transitions the audience from just being passive listeners into active participants, demanding they march toward an event that promises to be the biggest in the sport's entire history. As the performance reaches its climax, you really have to notice the hypnotic, fading repetition here. This is the world. This is the world. This structural repetition effectively strips away all fear, leaving only the sheer magnitude of the world stage. By repeating the phrase 8 times in the source material, it functions exactly like a grounding mantra. In incredibly high-stakes environments, athletes, performers, high achievers, they all use repetitive mantras to block out anxiety and overwhelming pressure. It assures the listener, the fans, and honestly perhaps the players themselves, that despite the towering, multi-nation scale of 2026, there is simply no room for fear. There's only the awe-inspiring reality of the global stage, and you are ready for it. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway from this explainer. The fact that these lyrics, this immense cultural framing, comes directly from a wildly popular internet personality driving the official FIFA hype, that is completely unprecedented. It signals a totally new era for sports entertainment. So I leave you with this to ponder. How will creator culture completely redefine the way we experience global sports in 2026? If this performance is the blueprint, we are watching internet culture officially merge with one of the most legacy sports institutions on the planet. The intersection of viral internet mechanics, borderless global unity, and hyper-focused sports hype is going to create a World Cup experience unlike absolutely anything we have ever witnessed in our lifetimes. I hope you're as excited for it as I am. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring.